Okay, let's take a look at how they're spending the money that we pay in taxes to our government. Well, they're having a good time with it. They have a thing called a budget earmark. The earmarks are a little bit that provision they insert into a discretionary spending appropriation bill. They can put them in these bills because they don't have to go through any competitive processes that the other bills go through. They just stick these little earmarks on the bill, and the money just flows right where they want it to. Now, how much earmarks is enough? How much is too much? Well, there were 4,975 earmarks in the omnibus package that totaled $9.7 billion. GOP Senator Shelby, he pulled in earmarks $647.9 million. For a lot of these earmarks, universities, police, airports, they were the big recipients of a lot of this. Now, these earmarks were the first that they've enacted in the government funding bill since they were banned in 2011. They range from two measures totaling combined $200 million by Senator Richard Shelby, Republican, Alabama.
Of course, we know earmark projects are always very important things. There was a previous earmark project. It was only a $15,000 project, but it was stimulus funds that were given to the Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton. They were to study how alcohol affects a mouse's motor function. Worried about drunk mice. That's right, drunk mice.
Down to, say, a $4,000 with the Port Authority. So there's big earmarks, $200 million, $4,000, but there's a pile of them. Now, earmarks that totaled $9,688,000. Whoa. Yeah. Earmarks that totaled $9,688,599,148. These were included in the $1.5 trillion package, Public Law 117-103, which they got enacted in March. This bill includes 3,696 earmarks filed by Democrats that totaled $5.2 billion. That's right, earmarks of 3,696 earmarks that totaled $5.2 billion. Then there was a addition by the Republicans. They weren't going to be outdone. They had 1,015 earmarks, totaled $3.9 billion. Then there was a bipartisan bunch of earmarks. About 263 of these guys were filed, totaling $615.7 million. Democrats got the very best out of this earmarks. Wasn't a lot of blocking by Republicans because the Democrats, of course, are in control. The House Appropriations Committee, they notified members that they will be allowed to submit up to 15 requests for next year's bills, up to a limit of 10 for the fiscal 2022 package. The Democrats just praised the inclusion of earmarks in the funding package, saying that the funding meets urgent needs in the districts across the country and sends a clear message to the American people that Congress is working for them. Oh my God. Anyway,
in previous earmark spending sprees, here's a good one. Next one. $787 billion previously to the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act 2009. They were going to provide earmark funding for shovel-ready projects across the country to get America back to work. One of these projects was a tunnel meant for turtles in Florida. The Turtle Crossing project cost $3.4 million to construct a tunnel under Highway 27 north of Tallahassee so wildlife can safely cross. Now, would not a little prior thinking have helped here? I don't know how intelligent a person would take, but if you see the freeways that you've constructed and how large, how wide, how filled they are, that you know they're not going to be friendly to animals of any kind crossing these 6, 8, 10-lane highways. Why not use a little prior planning and build a little tunnel as you're laying the project out, as you're doing this road? Put the tunnel in before you go ahead and have to go and reconstruct everything. While it's being constructed, it'd be much cheaper just to put this tunnel in there, knowing that wildlife is definitely going to have a hard time crossing 6 to 8 lanes of traffic. And that might take a person with an advanced degree, but maybe they can find one for the next project.
That's just a little bit about earmarks. There are many elements in Washington and Congress where you can actually log in, get copies of bills, sometimes PDF forms and things like that. Go ahead and start looking in Washington. Pay more attention to what they're doing, what they're saying, what they're going to try and do. Because not everything they're going to do is going to be good for us. It's just my opinion. Anyway, start looking at what they're doing. You might be surprised.